Ooh, what up, no? It is another Tuesday, and this is Knockouts and Three Counts. But before we get to that motherfucker, Dale Patrick's, we got to talk about our sponsors at Potter's Tree Service. If you are in the need for tree trimming, walnut logging, lot clearing, anything to do with trees, Potter's Tree Service has got you together. But hey, I can show you a whole lot better than I can tell you. Check out this commercial from our sponsors. Check out the links in the bio and make sure you stay tuned because this is an episode you won't want to miss as we talk about Circle 6's return to Detroit.
This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and Three Counts.
Cover! We got a new world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and Three Counts is the podcast meeting to the real deal, baby!
Knockouts and Three Counts starts now.
There you go. Man, StreamYard is giving me the work today. It is another Tuesday. This is Knockouts and Three Counts. And man, do we got a lot to talk about and a debut for you tonight as we bring you Dale Patrick's. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, and I'm here.
Yo, effing Patrick's, bro. That's what I thought.
I mean, hey, you said it, man. You know, I did my research. He's going to have to tell us why he's that motherfucker, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But with that being said, man, appreciate the time. This is one that we've talked about for a little bit because I know the first time we got to see you is with our homies over at Ruthless Pro Wrestling. So talk to me a little bit about Ruthless Pro a little bit before we get to Circle 6 because that's where I first got to see you perform live, but I'm pretty sure it was for J-Bone too when we were at the circus.
Yep. What do you want to know?
I don't know, man. I just want to know what were your thoughts on your time in your matches with Ruthless Pro, and you know what's your thoughts on that whole circus atmosphere? Because, like I said, once I saw that, you were one of the first guys I hit up after we did that show as somebody that I felt like we needed to chat with. So I'm happy we're making this one happen, my man.
Me too, man. Time with Ruthless Pro, it was good. It wasn't bad. There's no hard will or feelings towards anyone there. Matches I had there were me growing into what everyone is seeing here today. I was able to do a lot to be able to shape myself into the deathmatch guy that I am. Yeah, they gave me a chance at the title. That's about all I got.
What up, though? See everybody in the comments and all that stuff as well. Well, with that being said, man, you know, I've been watching you pretty much ever since after that. And with that being said, you call yourself with the deathmatch god that you are. Talk to me about your start in wrestling. Did you always want to do deathmatch, and how did you find deathmatch?
I'll try to make a long story short. About 12 years ago, I started wrestling, and way before then, you know, my favorite thing was, you know, watching Mick Foley. Actually, one of the matches that got me into it was seeing The Undertaker way back in the day. And then once I saw Mick Foley and Undertaker at Hell in the Cell in your house, or King of Ring, one of the two, you know, I was hooked. And then, you know, as you progress as a child, you know, you get in trouble for doing certain things. And, you know, I was getting in trouble in the crotch chops at school and, doing all that stuff, get picked on and all that. And then it kind of fell off the wrestling um, wagon, as you would call it. Right around then, came back right around when Mick Foley came back and faced Randy Orton. Then that's the love for like hardcore stuff really started happening. I started getting into watching like CZW stuff and some ROH and all that. And the love for independent wrestling kind of grew at that point.
So here's the question: did you find all the CZW stuff down the YouTube rabbit hole like most of us did? Because that was what it was for me, man. I forgot what they called the big cage match that they had, man. Is it the Cage of Death? Is that what it was called?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I went down this wormhole and probably watched like 10 or 15 fucking matches on YouTube, and I never had seen nothing like that before. I was like, dude, this shit is gnarly. And then you find out you got like you said, Mick Foley and Terry Funk over in Japan, and Onita, and you can go down the rabbit hole. So since you told us that you got hooked originally from WWE, man, I literally just got back from the Rumble Sunday. Did you get to check the Rumble out at all, and what'd you think?
I did. I got to hang out at home and just sit down and watch it. Wasn't too bad.
It was wild. The women showed out. I'll tell you that much.
I agree. I think that was the better Rumble in my opinion.
The women showed out, man. Crazy.
Didn't start really getting into death matches until I was like 2 years into wrestling. And then a couple years in, I was at IWA Mid-South or Evolution Pro, one of the two down there in Southern Indiana. And, I saw a bunch of my buddies do it. And like I said, I've always wanted to do it myself. It just wasn't something that I just, picked up out of nowhere. I know it's a cliche thing to say, but truly the Randy Orton Mick Foley match really, really set the tone.
I still have that DVD.
And then as I was training in wrestling, I was watching, the best of, CZW 2008, 2009, watching the old Cage of Death stuff, watching Tournament of Death. And, then the love really started happening. I didn't start getting into independent wrestling or like that scene until right around that area. Like I said, 2 years in, started, my course with it. Asked Ian Rotten, hey, how do I do this stuff? How do I get into doing it? And then he just let me try it out, and then I've been doing it ever since.
What was it like getting your first like glass shattered on you, or like something stuck to your head? Was there ever like a holy shit, this is real?
The first time that happened, I was never had happened to you, scared shitless, but started. Once you start doing it more often, then you start getting used to stuff like that. I'm that's me. I'm not sure how everyone is, but that was just how I was.
I feel like it wouldn't be like a dip your toes in type of thing. It's kind of like jump in, go as far as you can, and then you kind of deal with it after that. But
yeah, it's kind of all or nothing.
I'm no deathmatch wrestler, so I wouldn't know. But
either, you know what I mean.
Save that for y'all, man.
Smart, man. But we got some questions for you in the comments before I get to my next one. Donald wants to know, since we're talking death matches, who's your favorite death match opponent?
Alive or just whatever?
Let's go both.
Yeah.
I think so far my favorite has to be Murdoch.
Another past guest of the show.
Many matches together, all up and down, Midwest, East Coast, started off rocky and then, become best friends. So I don't know. He's probably one of my top ones right now.
I like it. The Duke is a past guest of the show as well. With that being said, let's talk a little bit about Circle 6. I saw what you did in the Sickest of the Six. That was badass. Talk to me about your performance in that tournament and how you feel like that is going to propel you to bigger things here in 2024.
Of course, you bring that one up. I really don't like talking about it because it involves a certain someone in it. someone who wasn't even supposed to, be in it originally. I'm sure everyone saw how the finals went. I'm sure everyone knows the past history of Drake Younger and the past that him and I have. They don't know the personal stuff that's happened, but professional, he's been around pretty much my entire career, off and on. That tournament really solidified a lot of things to me. One, I don't like the motherfucker. Never have, never will. Two, he stuck his nose in my business. So what do you think is going to happen?
Time to go to war.
Down the road,
I mean,
hands on him again.
So with that being said, it was, you talk about that when we had Mike on the last time, when they came for the last time he came on the show, man, that was something that was a hot button off rip. Like, it got picked up by Fightful. It got picked up by about 3 or 4 different outlets. Just him talking about his explanation to, bringing Drake in and all that stuff. But participants aside, man, that was a hell of a performance. I just went back and watched it again last night. You guys all went to war. Everybody that was involved in that was just a fucking, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, especially if you're going to be here at the Circle 6 show February 18th. It'll definitely give you a nice taste of what you're going to see here at Harpo's, but definitely was a hell of a performance on that one. But with that being said, as we heading into Detroit, I see that you're not only doing the deathmatch stuff, though, because I see that you're also defending the Wrestle Art tag titles with Josh Crane. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that was just this past Saturday, and we won.
That's
Defeated
what's up.
John Kemp and Chase Holiday.
That's what's up. Like I said, when the thing with deathmatch stuff is you always see, like, we've been seeing Tommy Vendetta, another guy who I know you had badass matches with, which I've seen from here in Detroit. Our guy Malcolm Monroe III, the process over here, man, getting into deathmatch and seeing them go back and forth. Do you like keeping a balance in between regular stuff and just doing all deathmatch all the time?
I really don't have like a say in any of that. I do, and this is going to sound weird, but whatever. I do whatever comes to me. Like just this past Saturday, I did that tag match. It was like the first regular match I've had in probably a few years. No lie. So yeah, just the death matches are kind of more my thing than doing the other stuff. I don't know. I'm able to express more doing death matches than I am having regular matches. That's just me. That may not be everyone's cup of tea, but
At any point in that regular match, did you want to take like a chair and beat somebody's head in, or fucking put them through some glass or something? It's got to be hard to like bring it back. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I could really cut you up if I wanted to, but hey, I don't want to get DQ'd here.
It's always in there. Always have that.
Get a couple of near falls, and it's like, fuck, where are the doors at? All right,
yeah,
dude. The door in the corner real quick. You're gonna get up.
It's got to be such an interesting switch in your mind to try to switch it off. I guess we can say if you're saying you only throw in a match every couple months, every 6 months, once a year or something like that. It's got to be hard to turn off that switch.
I think doing it for 12 years, it's not to downplay anyone or anything, but it's easy for me to be able to switch it off and on. I know when it's needed to be on and when it's needed to, put aside for a second. Kind of have a little bit of fun.
We got another question for you in the comments. John from Minnesota is jumping in, talking about, he wants to know your thoughts on or invite.
Man, him and I have talked about this one. I wish him and I would have had our footage from our first encounter from ICW Milwaukee. But sadly, that footage does not exist anymore. It was the first time a light tube fan was ever used in the States. I'm not putting anything over. That's just what he was telling me. So whatever. But yeah, Orin Vite's a good guy. Solid deathmatch wrestler. Deserves a whole lot more than what he's gotten.
So definitely somebody to be out on the look for.
Oh,
My bad, I wasn't trying to say anything. I just something in my throat. But with that said, another thing that, in talking to Mike about getting ready for this interview, he said, one of the biggest things that he's seen a difference in you since the the Sickest of the Six is it just seems like you've had like a mentality change. Like that seemed to awaken something in you and bring out a different side. What are your thoughts on has there been any type of change you feel like since then?
I mean, yeah, dude. It's not an ego trip. Fuck everyone who says it is. I don't have an ego. I've never had an ego. I know how to shut the shit off when it comes to real life. But me personally, with this being a professional wrestling business, I'm tired of being fucking slept on. I've been doing this shit for 12 fucking years. I know what I'm doing. I'm not a dumbass. I know the behind the scenes shit. I know all the politics. So yeah, it's about time I start getting what I fucking deserve. And I know that's cliche to fucking say, but it's true. It's about time I start getting actual shit. And if people have a problem with that, fuck them.
I like it. Like I like it. With that being said, what are some of the goals that you want to knock out with 2024? What are some of the things you got on the hit list?
Sickest of the Six again. This year it's my tournament. King of the Death matches later on this year, it's mine. I'm not just saying it just to say it because it's a cool thing to fucking do. I'm saying it because it's true and it's gonna fucking happen. There's also a lot of things I can't talk about right now. I have to wait until certain graphics get done. But once it's announced, everyone be on the lookout because gonna be going somewhere and doing some good things. So stay tuned, I guess, or fucking don't. I don't care.
He said, "Or fucking no."
He said, "Fuck it, I'm going with or without you."
Hey, my man knows what he's doing. He knows his route. He knows what he's capable of. I love when guys call their shots, man. That's just showing confidence in yourself. So go out there and get it, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Thanks, bro.
If you disagree with them, what do they say? If you disagree, beat them. Fuck them.
Hey, and talk shit, get hit. I mean, but
Right.
with that being said, another thing that sticks out is you say you want to win the Sickest of the Six. What did you have in that last performance? What did that do for you as you head into this year, and what's going to be different with it?
Last year's performance was a start of kind of everything coming together within myself, starting believing myself, having self-confidence. 12 years getting told that you ain't shit, you'll never be shit, and then finally getting the opportunities that I have been afforded and given. Very grateful for. But starting to actually believe myself has been the biggest thing. And last year at Sickest of the Sixth was the first time for me personally and professionally I have had self-confidence and I've cared about what I'm doing. Not to say that I wasn't caring before. I never had that confidence like I have now. And that's not. I'm not tooting my own fucking horn. This is just real shit that I'm telling to you. So given all that last year, it was the start of a lot of things. And during all those Circle 6 shows and leading into King of the Death matches really set the tone for just what I can accomplish. And, the news will come out here soon about what's going on and where I'm going and what I'm doing. But all that time, taking the time for myself to believe in myself ever since then is paying off. And, it didn't come easy. I'm not saying any of the shit's easy to get. Some people will sit here and tell you otherwise, but for me, that one was a tough one. I know I've never had self-confidence, but now it's different.
I like it, man. That's something we hear a lot because we also do combat sports and all that stuff. We hear that all the stuff all the time with fighters. Like, how getting that one loss will make things just, just drop them off. Like we just seen it. We just called fights on pay-per-view 2 weeks ago. You can check it out on Spectation Sports. The guy that was supposed to be in the co-main event backed out the day of the fight because he thought that he couldn't do it. So like the mental side of things, whether it's pro wrestling or deathmatch wrestling or fighting or whatever, man, that's a real thing. Can you talk a little bit about like where some of that doubt came from and like what's changed thought process wide?
Damn, you want to go that deep? All right. All right, deep. Okay.
What up, though, Mike?
I'm sure everyone has lost someone in their life, and it's not certainly an easy thing for me to talk about every now and again. But one of the things that really took me down was when my dad passed away. Yeah, it was 10 to 12 years ago, but it was the one person in my life who knew me. You know what I mean? Who believed in me, even though I never did. Yeah, he wasn't the best dad, and I got my ass whooped for doing some dumb shit, but you know, uh, he was one of the main factors of the downfall of not loving myself or believing in who I am. Lost friends, I'm sure everyone has, but uh, you know, lost Adam. And that was a big one for me. Uh, Adam Bueller was a good guy, dude. He was genuine, the best. Um, it's not in losing SPO. I wasn't close to him like everyone else was. Just the time that I was around him was positive. He was always like a happy-go-lucky guy. He was always happy. He was the light in some of the dark moments in my life. And there were some dark ones. There were some dark moments. Uh, it took me having to go to therapy to really start um, taking time for myself and believing in me and loving me before I could even go to the point of conquering confidence in that issue and self-doubt and all that shit. Um, you know, Even in the 12 years I've been wrestling, I've done Cage of Death, I've done Tournament of Death multiple times. I've been a Shikara. I, you know, I've done all these things, but I was never. It's one of those times where you weren't ready for it mentally, because I was still a kid. I was still much a child. But yeah, it took having to go through all that to get to where I am now, and no bullshit. I'm happy at where I am right now.
That's dope to hear, man, because
Respect, man.
I can totally relate. I just lost my dad. Wow, damn, it's already been 4 years. But yeah, I just lost my dad a few years ago, like literally right as we went into like right before we went into the pandemic, like totally out the random. He was in the hospital and was already done with his surgery and went like that. So I can definitely relate on how that, can change on somebody's mindset. Like even with the stuff we're doing with just the show, definitely different landscape, but it made me realize, well, damn, you could literally wake up tomorrow and be fine. And then everything could change. So I totally can respect that with how that changes. At least for me, it even changed my perspective on how I want to, what I want to do, what mark I want to leave, all that kind of stuff. And I'd imagine, especially in a profession like yours, where you're telling these stories in the ring, whether that be in a death match or a regular match or whatever it is, I could definitely see how that could change, how that change your mindset.
Well, I mean, like you're also in environments and you're around, promoters, around people who, not necessarily are the best and mentally bringing up anyone. And I'm not using that as an excuse, but being told, you're nothing, you'll never be good, doesn't really help anything either. And, I don't need to name names. The people will know who they are. But to those people now, go fuck yourself. For real, 100%. Go fuck yourself.
That's
Amen.
what I'm talking about. Fucking stick
It'd
it
be
to
like
'em,
that, dude.
Nobody tell you what you can and can't do. I love that shit. You go
Yeah,
out there
dude.
and tell them what's up, man.
It took me a while to get to this point, but yeah.
Totally respect it, because that's same for me. I have cerebral palsy and Crohn's disease, and I boxed since I was 13 years old. So I totally can respect that, because I couldn't tie my shoes, write my name, cut with scissors, do any of that stuff. And I've done all that stuff too, whether it be boxing or getting a purple belt in jiu-jitsu or whatever it might be. I can totally relate to that on a definite level. And it seems like the people in the comments are enjoying the conversation. Well, with that being said, the reason why we're here is because Circle 6 is making its way back to Detroit. It's going to be at the legendary Harpo's Concert Theater Sunday, February 18th, which I love that it's on a Sunday, because I don't have to take off a day of work or anything. That's going to be great for me. I just want to throw that out there for a second. But with that being said, Mike, who we've already talked about, who was in the comments, kind of gave me the Iggy and let me know what's going on for you. Circle 6 here in Detroit, and it's going to be you versus Hardway Heater in a no match. So talk to me about this. What are your thoughts on your new opponent here in Detroit?
Actually, me and Hardway haven't had a singles at all. So this is our first encounter. It isn't going to be the easiest for either one of us, I'm sure. I've done no rings, no rules, whatever. So I know what to do there, but it's going to be an interesting one. We'll see what happens.
What are your thoughts on the no ring match? Like you said, that's a totally different environment.
Wild.
What are your thoughts on the no ring match?
The no ring matches I've had previously to this one, they're literally brawls. Go out there and do whatever you can to survive. That's what a no ring is to me. And with Heater being involved in it, and I never had a one-on-one with him. I really don't know. I really can't tell you anything about it. People just have to go to the show or watch it on stream and find out.
As somebody who's been in this business so long, what's it like taking on new opponents at this level of your experience?
It's fun. It makes something that's a business that's corrupt and political. It makes it fun again. It really brings out the fun and like first evers, or things you're able to accomplish for yourself. So this one I'm excited about, but we'll see what happens.
No ring gets nuts too. We've seen plenty of no ring matches, dude. And you were in one in the pit with the Duke, right? Wasn't that match with the Duke? He was in the pit. That was a no ring. Fucking wild. So you got experience, dude. I think you can go in there with the confidence like you've been saying you have. So underdog, probably not. Probably no underdog here. Go in there and fucking make them bleed, man. Let's go. You'll see me over there with a beer. Like, let's go, Dale.
Hey, man, maybe we can get D-Mac to let him borrow his exploding hockey stick.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I just remember being there and seeing that when it was the no ring and he hit old boy with the stick, and I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't realize there were fireworks on the end of that thing.
Got to get creative out there, man. I'm telling you.
Bring those. Need to bring that.
Hell yeah. D-Mac, I know you're going to check this out, man. My man says he needs you to loan him that hockey stick right quick, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, Hardway Heater, but you're getting smacked across the head with a fucking hockey stick, bro.
Oh, shit. People are already tagging D-Mac in the fucking comments.
I see Swartzy checking this out right now, too. What up, Swartzy? I look forward to seeing that guy, too. He's one of my favorites.
Oh, man, that's funny. People are already fucking saying that, man. So talk to me. Donald's thrown this match out in the comments a little bit. You versus Neil Diamond Cutter, ICW, the Boardwalk. Talk to me about that match.
One, Donald's too kind. The match with Neil Diamond Cutter was one of those that kind of set a tone just for myself on becoming a name, whatever that means to anyone. But I was able to actually become on the scene, in everyone's face of like, yeah, I've been doing shit before this. This isn't the first time, I know how to put on good matches, right? But you have to have that chemistry with someone, and I just think it was the right time, right place, the right viewing people to see it, to actually get that noticed, to actually have me be noticed across, the country or wherever. So that's
Is it? Is that a weird thing? I guess you could say wrestling on the independent scene, you never know which match is going to be that one that catches fire, to your point, that catches eyes and really gathers the attention for your career. Or does it just kind of add to the motivation to make sure that you do bring it every time, just in case that is that one?
It does. There for a while, stuff like that just wasn't a thing here in Indiana. It just was super oversaturated, and the places that were around were putting on banger shows and matches. And, some of the people that came through this area, right around the pandemic, I'll start it off with this. Right around the pandemic, the only place that was going up in Indiana was AWR. No bullshit. And around then, no one was doing anything. There was nothing going on. So people were coming through just, trying to get in some sort of ring time. You see Remington, who he is now, and that's coming through AWR, and that's putting in fucking work, and that's him trying his shit out. You know what I mean? There's so many other people that's gone through. Akira, Mickey was through that time. I switched into, what I was, the Deathmatch Jackass at that time, leading into ICW. Like that was me putting in that work there at AWR and doing all that stuff. So and none of that was, sadly, for just this area, none of that was getting seen like it should have been. Because there's some of those matches that should have blown up. There's so many matches that has happened here in this area that should have gotten seen or whatever. I don't know what the fuck any of that shit. But I don't know how that shit happens. I guess it's just magic or whatever. I don't fucking know.
When you figure it out, let me know, because I'd love to figure out how to get more motherfuckers to watch this stuff.
Secret recipe out there on the internet, man.
Right.
If you could just tell me like that secret recipe, other than like us going and covering the Royal Rumble, which is getting a shit ton of views right now, but if you could tell me how to just make that just happen all the time, we'd be all right.
Hey, dude.
Secret recipe's locked up like KFC chicken, dog. Telling you. Can't figure it out.
You see that shit?
Huh?
You see all that?
Yeah, man.
See what?
Yeah, dude. So I don't know. Like I said, there's a bunch of matches that should have gotten seen over the years, but it is what it is. We're here now. Can't think about the past.
I mean, we've seen you at Highway to Hell against Tommy Vendetta. That was bagger. We've seen you in the pit against the Duke. We've seen you in a fucking dog collar match against AJ Gray. What do you have a personal favorite? Maybe a favorite deathmatch moment, or is it yet to come? How you feel about that?
Before the what will come out here soon about where I'm going, before that happens, which will be kind of like the new favorite thing, but I'll say beforehand, my favorite deathmatch moment was it's a toss up. It's between Neil Diamond Cutter, or it's between, way back in the day, it was me versus Fremont, King of the Death Matches, 2016. I think it was 2016. Yeah. And then the other moment, 2017. God rest his soul. It was me, Marcus Crane, Eric Ryan, and Aiden Blackheart at King of the Death matches. And that was like my favorite 4-way I've ever had, or favorite multi-man I've ever had was that match. We were able to showcase everyone what they can do and everyone's style because everyone was different in that match. And we just went balls to the wall in that match for real. We did everything we possibly could. So those are my favorite moments so far.
Love it. Love it.
So,
Kyle, bring that comment up. I want to see what happened here. Bring that comment up from Mike.
We talked about the dog collar match. You know, Mike said that we need to find out what happened before the dog collar match with AJ Gray.
So start of that week leading into that match, I was at work and something was going on with my body, like health wise. I didn't know what was going on. I threw up at work that day. I wind up going to the hospital, and they wind up telling me that they needed to have me go into emergency surgery to get my gallbladder and my appendix taken. Appendix was about ready, and gallbladder needed to be removed now because I had 7 or 8 gallstones like that size through my intestines that could have done a lot more damage than thank God they caught it on time. So I did that. I think I went in there like a Monday or Tuesday and got out like a Wednesday or Thursday right before the match. I think I was out like 2 or 3 days before the match happened and just went to the match because, never said I was the smartest person. But if anyone tries to tell me that I can't do something, I'll tell them to go fuck themselves because only I know my limits and what I can do. In that, I don't want something that's been fucked up in my head is that I have a problem on disappointing myself and thinking, what if? So to cut all that out, I just wasn't thinking about anything, just trying to get to the show. That was the only thing I was trying to do. So, yeah, that's what happened before the AJ.
Dude, that's wild because
That is crazy.
I had to have my appendix taken out and something else taken out for a different reason. I was training for a jiu-jitsu tournament. I have Crohn's disease as well. And I thought, oh, I'm all right. And then I had to have emergency surgery to take out my appendix and 6 inches of my small bowel, all while I was in the middle of a weight cut to try to get ready to go fight somebody.
I like Mike's guy. He said he did tell me to fuck myself. And I told him not to. He did tell me to fuck myself. Hey, we're just being real out here, right? Tough
hey, man.
Say that.
Having diverticulitis problems, since like 2015. So every now and again, my diverticulitis would act up, and then, this shit happened last year.
Oh, I understand.
It's crazy shit, man. So more power to anyone who goes through that shit and, still here today. So,
dude, we must attract people with this because we're talking about this more and more because you need to go back and watch our episode with Big Swole because she talked all about her having Crohn's and some of the things she's dealt with that, like, through AEW and that, because that was actually how her and I had met in the first place. I had already known her from doing the Evolve shows and stuff, and we had just interviewed DDP, and she saw my pen, and I'm like, it's for my Crohn's, and no shit, it's like one of those things. It's like once you deal with that, it's like when you see somebody else deal with that stuff, it's like I wouldn't wish that stuff on my worst enemy.
Yeah. More power to the people who, everyone goes through stuff in their life. The real, what word do I want to use? The real fighters in this world are the people who are going through cancer, going through Crohn's, going through all that stuff, and who are still here to survive. That's no bullshit. I'm not saying that just because, you said that you've been through that stuff. Really, those people who are still here fighting those are the true fighters. Those are the people who really matter in this world, because there's not a lot of people built like them who can just keep going and are told they're not gonna survive, or they're gonna have to go through this, and they're still here fucking kicking. Those are the true motherfuckers.
Hell yeah, man.
Absolutely.
I respect that, dude. Well, speaking of the true motherfuckers, you got to tell me, man, what makes Dale Patrick's that motherfucker?
And I know it's that motherfucker that's going to win King this year.
Point blank, period, bro. Drop the mic. It's done with.
Hey.
I like it.
Like I said, if nothing else comes of this particular episode of the show, he gained mad respect from our listeners and myself. Shout out to you, man. Respect and salute, because you done gained my respect. I was already a fan, but now that we get to talk to you, shit, respect, bro.
We definitely got to link up come showtime here. Well, we got a couple more questions for you. One of the ones that I had to ask, since J-Bone and I just got to go see them live here a few months ago, I love the song choice for your entrance. So you got to tell me, The Memory Remains is a badass song. Is that your favorite Metallica song? How'd you come upon choosing that song? What's the deal with that?
So, to be honest, that was like my second favorite. My first favorite was the one they used in Mission Impossible. Does anyone know that one?
I'm trying to think back. I can remember the last time I seen
Fuel, is it?
I Disappear by Metallica.
Okay.
Okay.
I should have knew that. Damn it.
You have Saint Anger, but Memory Remains is kind of like it's more or less a conversion of the Deathmatch Jackass into what I so.
Dig that. Did you go to the concert? Did you catch their tour?
Metallica, sadly, no. Sadly,
we did.
Bro,
I couldn't talk for a week,
dude. That was, I swear to God, we just went and saw, it was the 2-night deal. We had night one was Pantera, Metallica, and Van Halen's Kid. Night two was Metallica, Ice Nine Kills, and fellow past guest of the show, Chris Cale from Five Finger Death Punch was in there, dude. That was a fucking banger, dude.
I couldn't speak.
The stage was sweet. I've never seen so many beach balls, dude. It was fucking badass.
What a time. What a time.
Yep.
Highly recommend if you can catch the second leg of that.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey, are they still touring? Or are they just?
Yeah, they got a whole nother leg of it's coming out. I don't know if the people that are on it are different, but I believe Five Finger's still on it. But yeah, when they came here, that's the lineup we had, and dude, like, they had like this big giant circle stage. It was at Ford Field, same place they did WrestleMania when it was here. Dude, that place was packed. It was loud as shit in there. It was, dude, by far, I said it when we left. I was like, that whole weekend was badass because shout out to fellow host of the show, Devin, getting engaged. We had his bachelor party. So I had night one of Metallica, then his bachelor party Saturday. Sunday is night two. And then I had to get up and go to work on Monday.
Party. Oh, yeah.
Dude, it was a hell. Dude, it was a hell of a show. Shout out to Chris. He's going to be.
My age after that weekend.
You should have felt my age. You ain't even old, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, I'm kicking 40's door down, as Eminem says, bro. I'm on my way.
Well, maybe you are old, but okay.
I'm 65. I look great.
Hey, man,
well, you had a grandpa bladder in Vegas, so I mean, shit.
Ain't that the truth? Fucking A.
Walking down Fremont Street, this guy drinks like not even 3 drinks of his margarita. Oh shit, I gotta piss.
That was like a 64-ounce margarita, for the record. Okay, that thing was huge.
Vegas size
margarita.
Hey, and then we watched Spandex Nation at like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning after we left our buddy Johnny at Nerd Bar. So hell yeah, good weekend. Donald's got it. Hey man, sometimes once we can get you out the house again, we'll do that. Shout out to Megaran and everybody. The Battle Rumble was dope in Tampa. Like that whole Royal Rumble weekend was dope. And shout out to WWE for letting us do the press junket. You can go check out all that stuff too. But Donald's got another question for you in the comments. He wants to know, is the Circle 6 the best roster you've ever worked with that has a perfect mix of young and up and comers? Circle 6 has been moving up.
To be honest, it's probably the best crop of guys. So yeah, it's probably the best crop of guys I've ever been around with or been in the ring with. It helps you level up. Stay at one place so long, kind of stay stagnant. At least there is something different every time. So you're constantly being challenged to better yourself. So yeah, in that sense, Circle 6 has been the best roster to be a part of. Yes.
All right, man. Well, you got to tell me, when you come to Detroit, is there anything you're trying to hit in the city? Although it is cold as fuck out here.
It's snowing out there a lot, and I don't know, whatever happens, I guess.
I feel it. All right. Well, like I said, we also cover combat sports. Do you get down with MMA, UFC at all? Do you watch it? And if so, who are some of your favorites to watch?
I haven't watched it in a second, but I do get down to watching that shit whenever I'm, near it or whatever. I think the last time, don't call me old, but I think the last time I saw was when George St. Pierre was still doing it pretty regularly. It may have been a while ago, but
The GOAT.
he was moving.
Dude,
for sure.
His name always comes up. Bronson Reed just said that was his all-time favorite fighter to me on Friday morning.
Yeah, that's the GOAT, man. That's the GOAT right there.
Connor has that motherfucker mentality too. You just
Ain't
don't.
that the truth?
So we just interviewed Michael Chandler, who's supposed to be fighting Conor McGregor. So I'm interested to see him get back in the cage. But boy, these mind games that this motherfucker is trying to play with Michael Chandler is like legendary. No, we're gonna fight at 185. No, we're gonna fight at 155. We're gonna fight in June. No, we're gonna fight in April. And Michael Chandler, to his credit, man, is playing it like a G because he knows that this is
speaking of Connor, did you guys see the freaking
trailer for Roadhouse?
See the freaking Roadhouse trailer? The guy looks like he's 210 pounds, bro.
Oh, dude, he was fucking jacked up as a mug,
bro.
Yeah, that was at peak healing of the leg, we'll call it.
No wonder he fucking withdrew from the fucking testing pool. He's a walking fucking juicer. I don't know if you could fit any more steroids in that guy. Jesus. No, I mean, I'm just fucking around, but still, he looked freaking huge.
Hey, man, he wasn't in competition. I ain't mad at you, bro. Do your thing. Now he got himself in a movie. I mean, shout out to our guy Cassidy from bodyslam.net because we might have to talk about Roadhouse come soon, but we'll see what happens. But
I just got hit by a car. I hope the car's okay. Jeez. Hey, man.
Oh, no. What the fuck, dude?
I gotta check that out. Hopefully
somebody's got spies on Conor McGregor. They're already plotting on his downfall. Them bastards. Oh my goodness. All right, dude. So with that said, we've gotten into MMA, we've gotten into Circle 6, we've gotten into it coming back into Detroit and all these other things, man. If you've got any last words for your opponent, Hardway Heater, before you come down here to Detroit, or anybody that's new to Dale Patrick's, let them know and let them know where they can find you, brother, man.
They can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Dale Patrick's. I do have a gaming channel, so go follow that. Do what you want. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. For Hardway Heater, come that show, you're going to find out that I'm that motherfucker. And I'm sorry, but you're going to be the one I'm going to have to go through to prove a point that this year I'm that motherfucker who's going to win King.
Period. Mic drop. That's it. Until next time, and in the in-between time, make sure you check us out this Thursday. We're going to be joined by KG talking about Circle 6 coming through this Thursday. And fun fact and a story we'll get into come Thursday. If it weren't for KG's podcast talking about him going to Wrestle Kingdom by himself, this show would not exist, because I heard that podcast and ended up going to WrestleMania 33 by myself, then met Devin, and now you see the show that's been around for 7 years after that. So lots of things to talk about. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new here, make sure you check out our sponsors, Potter's Tree Service. Show them some love, like their Facebook, all that good stuff. And until next time, and in the in-between time, hit that button. Peace.